Well, good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen around the world. It is once again time for the Backstage Slam Wrestling Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Josh. Yay, that's me. And I'm here to bring you, I guess, thoughts and opinions, everything going on in the wrestling world. But it's going to be very specifically WWE this week, if only for the fact that that's where a lot of the stuff is going on at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Long story short, we got a super fast turnaround between pay-per-views. Literally Sunday to Sunday, Summerslam to Payback. It is only a week. And not only did we, the usual programming note is the week before a pay-per-view, or the day before, the week of, we predict the winners and losers of the pay-per-views. And then the following week, we give our thoughts on the pay-per-views. And unfortunately, I'm in this weird position where I have to do both in one episode. So that's what episode 207 is going to be this week. The one you're listening to right now, the Backstage Slam Wrestling Podcast right here. With me leading the way. It looks like I'm flying solo tonight. I know Ben and his dad is still not quite 100% out of the woods yet. Doing better. So continue to send those positive vibes, that great energy out to Hawaii, so Ben's dad can, get that full recovery and bounce back with a quickness. Pardon me. Also, not only Ben but Amber needs your love out there tonight too. She had some things come up over the last week, couple of weeks, that sending love her way would definitely be a good thing as well. Nana, I don't know what to say about Nana. She's like happy, and who does that? Who gets to be happy? I hope you're listening, Anna. You and your happiness and your relationship and how good it is. I kind of sound a little petty there. Well, good. But I digress. It's been a week. There were a couple of big things that happened, and mostly not so big things, and mostly not so good things. I mean, after all, when you have a pay-per-view and then the next night it's like, time for the next go-home show. Let's build our next pay-per-view in the next 5 minutes. It doesn't really work very often. In fact, I can't really think of a time. You know what? They've had months to plan some of these pay-per-views, and I'm like, yeah, what was this thrown together 20 minutes ago? And I swear to you, sometimes, yes, that is the case. I will swear that is the case. Things just got thrown together for evs. So that's why I say, whether it's whether it's planned months in advance or thrown together over coffee on the weekend, I don't think the quality is really going to change all that much. But there may, in fact, be a voice in the darkness. Voice in the darkness, can you hear me?
Say what?
I said voice in the darkness, can you hear me?
Yeah.
And everything's working. The people can hear you too. Voice in the darkness, please Tell everybody who it is.
I am the darkness. I am the Dark Knight.
I am vengeance. That was a good trailer. Well, everybody, I just got finished out of my, saying out of my mouth. Send love Amber's way. And I guess you guys got right on the ball with that because she's here and she's maybe ready to talk some wrestling.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm down.
Luckily, I have not gotten into anything yet other than, how crazy is it that we have SummerSlam one weekend and the very next weekend it's Payback?
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I've talked about. Going on some crazy rants, You know how I do. So, before we get started with the SummerSlam review, which, by the way, is a much better thing to do with more than one person, I do want to send a big old congratulations out to one Mr. Renee Young. Renee Young's husband, I don't remember his name, has achieved a great feat that not a ton of people have been able to do. John Moxley is his name. John Moxley. I'm being told his name is John Moxley. John Moxley has climbed to the top of the PWI 500 and is the number one wrestler in the world according to the Pro Wrestling Eye. So, John Moxley, this marks an historic event in a way because if I'm not mistaken, this is the first stable, the Shield is the first stable that has had every member top the list. Of course, not at the same time, but yeah, Seth Rollins is top the list. Roman Reigns is top the list for some reason. And now John Moxley gets the honor of holding that distinction. Now, for those of you that are not aware of what the PWI 500 is, I gotta ask, are you here by accident? Were you expecting another episode of the Wadcast tonight? Seriously, because it's kind of like I'd hate to use the term industry standard because everybody puts their own validation into the PWI 500. I mean, it carries some weight ish. I'm not sure if it's as important as it used to be for, say, guys in the WWE. But if you're still, running the indies, it's a great way, I guess, to make your mark in a way. If you make it only lists 500 wrestlers, 500, and that might seem like a lot, but truth be told, it's not. Long story short, there's more than 500 wrestlers in the world. And John Moxley is at the top of that. I'm going to see if I have that image here. Yep. The PWI 500. John Moxley is number one. As you can see there, if you're watching the Facebook feed live at Semicore Studios on Facebook, there is the cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated PWI 500 issue. I guess it's the 30th edition of the list. But I digress. I was saying before, if you are not aware of what the PWI 500 is, it is, of course, a list compiled of the top in the magazine's opinion, the top 500 wrestlers in the world based on very, I think, interesting criteria, because a lot of it, I mean, it's all subjective in a way, but they want to put an objective factor in there. So it's based on win-loss record, which, I mean, technical ability, and influence on the sports, as well as the level of competition that they've been up against over that year. Because there is a grading period. I don't remember what it is, but that is the case. Amber, any thoughts on Jon Moxley becoming the number one wrestler in the world?
I'm still trying to figure out how you were connecting Renee Young to Kim. Were you referencing her giving notice and jumping ship to be with hubby? Or...
No, I was actually referencing her being like the breadwinner, the one that wears the pants. That, back in the olden days, she would have been referred to as like, well, she's Mrs. Jon Moxley. Where you have to be in a secondary position to the patriarch, that kind of thing. I just flipped it on its head, and because. Yeah, she made some news this week, too, as she finished up her, her obligations to the WWE. Don't know where she's going. I assume a lot of people are saying Renee Young is going to AEW, for sure.
Which is wrong. She's writing a cookbook.
If anything, if Renee Young goes anywhere to work, like under contract work, I know a couple of people have shared this opinion, but I am going to echo it. I think she's going to work for Fox, if anything. Work directly for Fox Sports. That's just my opinion. She did leave the door open to that backstage show that they do. The one, I don't remember what it's called. I don't watch it personally. But yeah, that's what I think. That if she goes anywhere and signs a contract, it's going to be Fox Sports, so she continue to do wrestling coverage if she wants, but also spread her wings a bit and, become, I hate to use the term actual journalist, but it's hard to be that when you're covering the company that you're working for with questions and everything that have been written for. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really weird as far as authenticity goes. Because more or less, you're just an actor.
True.
So that's why I wanted to throw her the bone, no innuendo intended, and kind of give her the honors when it comes to talking about this couple this week. Jon Moxley reaches number one. Renee Young reaches independence. What else could happen? Well, we're not going to get into that just yet because it's time to talk about WWE Summerslam, which we saw 6 days ago on the WWE Network or wherever you get your pod or pay-per-views. I'm not saying that we have people that listen that do things less than legally, but I'm not saying we don't. Just want to get everybody covered. I don't know why. It's pretty relevant. SummerSlam, as the image shows you, Facebook Facebook.com/SimCore Studios. It was a show. And in my opinion, it wasn't a bad show. But we're going to break this down match by match. And you know what? It's not going to be a super in-depth analysis. We're not, the analytical people that go things move by move. We're just going to, talk about it match by match, give our overall impressions of said match. And, talk about whether it was a good idea, bad idea, blah blah. You'll get the idea when we get into this. So the kickoff started with Apollo Crews taking on MVP, and in this particular situation, Apollo Crews defeated MVP in 6 minutes 40 seconds to retain the WWE United States Championship. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin were banned from ringside, actually. So, yeah. Honestly, last week on this show, I said there wouldn't be a match. I had no faith that there would actually be a match, but they actually got 6 minutes 40 out of it. Probably to get MVP out of the way for Bobby Lashley to step up and do his challenge. We'll get to that in a little bit. Amber, overall thoughts of Apollo Crews and MVP?
I, like you, had my money on it not even happening, so I was glad that he kept it.
Yeah, I was very glad Apollo Crews kept it too, considering, why? I don't understand what the active role for MVP right now is. It was good for what it was, which is a kickoff match. So I'm not gonna hate on any match really, unless it's absolutely atrocious. But this was a kickoff match. It did its job. It got the place warmed up, and quite frankly, I honestly I wasn't feeling the heat. I wasn't feeling. I'm not into this feud. I don't know if it's just me, but I was fine with it being on the kickoff, so it could just be out of the way. So for me, that was it was a bad pick. I picked Polly. Let's see. Trying to find Ben's picks. Yeah, Ben picked MVP. Sorry, buddy. Was not the case. But then the show opened up proper with Bayley defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Asuka Banks. Bayley had Sasha in her corner in a match that went 11 minutes 35 seconds with I'm not going to say it was a screwy finish, but it certainly was assisted. I'd say a little. Yeah, it was intentional-ish, but it wasn't the brazen cheating that we've seen in the past. Either way, Bayley retains the championship after pinning Asuka. Like I said, in 11:35. Bayley is still the women's champion. Amber, how do you feel about this, and why are you mad that it's not Mickie James?
It should just always be Mickie James. That's all there is to it.
I'm not going to say you're wrong because you're not.
I'm not mad at how they did it. Well, no, yeah, I am, because they're still dragging this feud out longer and longer and longer. And we already know that they're gonna come to a head at Survivor Series. So, I don't know. Somebody needs to get the heat on them. They need to step it up quicker. It's like moving like molasses. It's just painful to watch.
Well, we'll have a chance to talk about this a couple of times in tonight, as far as Bailey and Sasha go. Everybody that listens to this show knows how much I love Bailey, and you know why. I've gone on and on and on about that in the past. So to say, I'm happy that Bailey is still the champion is an understatement. I love the fact that Bailey's champion, and love another fact that we'll get to in a little bit later. So I'm going to say that Bailey and Asuka put on a good match, and kudos to them for doing so. Up next, we had the Street Profits defending the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships against Andrade and Angel Garza, with Zelina Vega on the side over there. In honor of Ben, I will make an honorable mention to Zelina for being particularly pleasant to be seen. There, that's about as nice a way I can put it without being weird. Come to think of it, that was kind of weird too. So yeah, this was a tag team match. Went just under 8 minutes. Considering there's only 8 matches on the card, and I would have liked to see these guys get a little bit more time. Not because I can't get enough of these two teams going after each other, but hopefully this will be the end. This will be the end of everything. And it would have been nice that they had a chance to really blow it out. Get a good 10 to 15 to put a nail in this and let everybody move on. So what do you think about the tag team? Oh, it's Street Profits pertained. Amber, tag team title match. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, gonna go ahead and move on for just a second then. Because after that, we had Mandy Rose taking on Sonya Deville in a match that actually did go 10 minutes. If you told me a couple years ago that Mandy Rose would be not only on the main roster, but also on the main roster putting together good matches because of a good storyline, because of... I don't know what the other because of is. But if you told me that she was going to have a good story and a good match, and this was all going to be at SummerSlam with no, weird... I don't even know how to describe what I'm thinking about, but I did not have Mandy Rose pegged to be the wrestler that she is. And... I'll be the first to admit that I was totally stereotyping based on what I've seen in the past. I mean, is she, a 5-star classic ring general? No, of course not. But is she doing a great job? Is she doing a bang-up job telling her story in the ring? Hell yes. And the fact that she had Sonya Deville in there with her, and no, that's not a detrimental comment to Sonya Deville. That is... me saying that you had two really good women out there really giving it their all, telling this story, making it really personal. That was the other thing. A good Mandy Rose match based on a good story that had nothing to do with the championship. It seems like the WWE has had a problem, in my opinion, making matches feel personal when there's no championships on the line. It seems like even when there's a championship on the line, they really, really try to push some sort of personal issue into a feud. And quite frankly, I would like to see more title matches, especially just, I want the title. Not, you beat up my cousin's nephew's dog, so now I want your title. No, it can be just as simple as cutting out all the crap and saying, you're the champion, I want to beat you. And that storyline works with so many people. Pretty much everybody, because last I checked, everybody that is in the company is supposed to want to be the top guy. Or girl, as it were. So Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville left it all on the line in what was supposed to be a hair versus hair match at first, but that was changed over the weekend. I believe it was a loser leaves WWE match. Mandy Rose won in that 10 minutes and 5 seconds. So Sonya Deville has had to leave the WWE. By the way, just so I keep everybody updated for you keeping track at home, I was correct with Bayley, and I was correct with the Street Profits, and I was correct with Mandy Rose. So, other than that non-finished subject critical, which, if I did pick a winner for Apollo Crews and MVP, it was going to be Apollo Crews. Just saying. I didn't, but it would have been. So, this is me with a 3-1 record on the night. But I was very happy with this match, and I was very happy with the result. Hopefully, Sonya Deville, on a personal level, gets to take care of whatever she needs to take care of, and hopefully she'll be back ready to go full speed. And that's all I got to say about that. Amber, any thoughts on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville?
No, I was just thought it was funny that Bayley wanted to steal her man. That was pretty funny little skit they had going on that one.
Then I will move on to Seth Rollins taking on Dominic Mysterio in a street fight. I'm going to keep my thoughts on this pretty simple, because there's a lot of comparisons to the Pat McAfee and Adam Cole fight the night before at TakeOver. Yeah, it has basically two industry veterans. Rey Mysterio, obviously the more seasoned of the two as far as number of years served in the ring, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, somebody will correct me. You always do, and I appreciate it. But when we did the review of TakeOver, I said it made me hurt inside. It made me cringe every time I had to see Adam Cole sell for Pat McAfee, because he's a punter and describes himself as an outsider that's going to go into the industry and, beat up Adam Cole, the longest reigning NXT champion ever. He's going to go beat him up, and he's going to go and be able to hang with a big guy, Adam Cole. I don't think I'm allowed to say the big guy. I think Ryback might sue me. Oh, well. Anyway, the fact that it's not the fact that he's a punter that bothers me. Quite frankly, it's the fact that he's his promos, right? His promos made him sound like he's just coming and saying anybody can do this crap. And that's like the implication that I got from his promos. Anybody can come here and do this crap. You guys suck. You're stupid. You can't fight this. You're so terrible that I'm just a guy off the street basically, and I'll be able to blah 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 blah. It's kind of a little disrespectful, I think, in my opinion, to the business itself. When they could have taken it, I don't know. I don't know, man. It sucks. It sucks because it seems like the Adam Cole McAfee match was Adam Cole sticking up for the business, sticking up for the boys and the women, and making sure that Pat respected where everybody was coming from. And if that was the case, then Adam Cole should have whooped his ass from top to bottom. Made him a believer. But that's not what we got. We got a good back and forth. And McAfee looked strong. He looked good. He looked good out there in the ring against Adam Cole. Adam Cole makes everybody look good, but McAfee held his own on a performance basis. He did well. And I think that was detrimental to the story. That's the only part I didn't care for. It's like one of the few times in history where you can say a good match is not good for business. You know? If I'm crazy, just leave a comment in the Semicore Studios Facebook page, or if you're listening on Spreaker, or if you just want to hit me up on Twitter, just at SkitComic, at Semicore Studios. Hit me up if I'm wrong. But the way that it differed from Dominic Mysterio, who was also having his first match in the WWE, Dominic was born in this stuff, man. He was born into the family. It may be his first match in the WWE, but it's not his first rodeo. Adam Cole should have been able to pull out any number of tricks and whatnot. And sure, he had coaching and training and blah, 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 blah. But he said, I've only been doing this for 2 weeks. Yeah. Dominic was, like I said, raised in it. It is exactly what he was brought up to do, essentially. So that's to me the biggest difference. So the fact that Dominic and Seth did go 22 minutes and 35 seconds did not bother me in the least. They told a pretty good story. They brought in Ray, they brought in, Dominic's mom or Ray's wife. I'm not sure how that is in there. Quite frankly, I didn't bother looking anything up. But the fact of the matter is, they took that story, they took the players, and they told a great story to do a hell of a match. So it made sense for Dominic to be able to fight back against Seth Rollins, a world champion, former world champion, because he spent his whole life in and around the business. He should know, the little maneuvers, the little tricks to get by. So I was perfectly okay with him doing what he did with between Dominic and Seth. So 22 minutes, 35 seconds. It was a really good match. I'm wondering if... oh, by the way, if you're wondering... Amber did have to step away for a moment.
So, I can't say that I was a big fan, honestly, of this way the match kind of played out.
Okay.
I don't know. I was expecting more, I guess. Kind of felt like they were insinuating, like, I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way. I really can't explain it. It was just like he was, just barely wet behind the ears. Like he didn't know what he was doing. It seemed like he struggled, like he hadn't been in front of the camera, the angle, you know, I don't know. I don't know if he was just off his game or what, but
Talking about Seth or Dominic?
both.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
It
and I
it
mean,
was
from a performance standpoint, yeah,
it
they
was a
haven't
weird
really.
thing. It was like they were um newbies at the performance center, uh, you know, afraid they're gonna upset Triple H, kind of a thing. Or like you remember when they were doing the Tough Enough seasons, and
Yeah,
everybody was like, "Oh, I don't want the Miz and Daniel Bryan not to like me. I gotta perform." And I just had the performance jitters. They just there was something about how they were going about the match that made it off to me. Like they were just miscuing each other, or like they didn't rehearse it beforehand. But we know they do. So
mm-hmm.
there, it bothered me the way it played out.
Okay, I mean that's fair. Let's see. Oh, said we were gonna be able to get back to this. Uh, this is the second time we'll be talking about a couple of these participants. Sasha Banks defended the WWE Raw Women's Championship against Asuka. That's right, Asuka took on both women's champions in one night after failing to defeat Bayley to take the SmackDown Women's Championship. Asuka does finally beat Sasha to take the Raw Women's Championship. And that only leaves, what are they called? Team Role Model, right? With the tag team titles and the SmackDown Women's Championship, as Asuka won by submission. Now here's the way things played out. I didn't really want to get into this from the first match until this one. Apparently, in the first match, Sasha takes a hit to make sure Bayley can get the win, and Bayley's in position to take that same hit, but doesn't, which did not open the door for Sasha to get the win. Now, I've heard some discussions about this over the past week, and one of the things that was mentioned is how stupid would Asuka look if she fell for the same trick twice? And I thought that's a valid point. So there is that kind of, two different sides of the same coin here as far as the scenario, how it played out. There is the fact that Bayley opted to not do what she needed to do to help Sasha win, or there was the option that Asuka wasn't going to fall for that trick again. It's hard to say, but it does kind of have an effect on the way the story goes moving forward. So, did Bayley look out for her own best interest, or did Asuka not get fooled? I'm not sure which really camp I fall under. I didn't watch the follow-ups this week. That's my Sunday viewing. Generally catching up on Raw and SmackDown, NXT and AEW I watch during the week, but those are that's my Sunday viewing. So I haven't gotten up to it. And honestly, I haven't even done my Sunday viewing in a while, so I don't even know if I'm going to watch Raw and SmackDown. It has been a while. But generally, as a rule, it's my weekend viewing. I catch up on everything. And yes, it would be more convenient if I watched it the day of or the day before the show and not the day after. I hear you. All you rabid fans that are so into, the Backstage Slam podcast. So, I'm sure there was a point to what I was saying. Hell if I remember what it is at the moment. So Asuka defeated Sasha Banks after 11 minutes, 25 seconds. Almost the exact same time as her match with Bayley. So that was pretty interesting. Asuka defeats her by submission. I think the better of the two matches, even though I love Bayley so much more. Not that against Sasha, as far as who I like more, but I do think she put on the better match with Asuka. Amber, Asuka, Sasha. Thoughts? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, probably had that.
Okay.
Okay. Here.
I'm sorry. They obviously can't see our internal message. For some reason, people feel like I need to be working right now. So I'm having to respond to work emails in the middle of all this. I liked this match better. Again, it didn't give the heat that it needed in order to build up this huge feud mass fight between Sasha and Bayley at Survivor Series. Like they're moving it like molasses, and so I think I'm just losing interest altogether. Like I'm not even gonna care when that match actually happens at this point. Um, but I don't think they should have. I don't know. It pissed me off that they took it from Asuka in the first place. Like, I don't understand why they even did it in the first place. Uh, they keep treating her as just this transitional champion placeholder. Uh, ex- except for she's like done and received every possible accolade a woman wrestler could ever possibly get, and then some, you know. And I think they're just ruining her. She was unstoppable in NXT, and then she gets beat by Charlotte. She gets the championship, she loses it. She gets the tag team, she loses it. They're they're just making a mockery of her, and it's in my opinion, and I think it's disgusting. Like, first Royal Rumble winner, first to do this. I mean, they're just playing her dirty, and she's a team player, so she's putting up with it.
I'll give him this much. She does get her temporary rewards every now and then after coming up from NXT. To put this in perspective, when Amber says that Asuka was unstoppable, her win streak was longer than Goldberg's. And what we got when that happened was a footnote, right? It was and Asuka just beat Goldberg's win streak. Isn't that cool? Yet when Goldberg, and mind you, this was a different company, and the numbers, I believe, most assuredly were padded as far as the wins go. It was a huge thing. I don't recall that ever being part of the story. Other than who's going to beat Asuka? Who's going to be Asuka? I don't think they actually ever put a number to it. As far as television goes. And unfortunately, she just, okay, time to come up to WWE. Oh, you won the Royal Rumble. Nice. So everyone's like, she's going to win the title. She's going to win the title. Nope. No. Let's just, let's just have her lose. Yeah. But yeah, I of course, there's more to come as far as Sasha and Bayley go, but we'll get to that in a little bit because the next match, the WWE Champion, The Tree, aka Drew McIntyre, took on Randy Orton, a fresh-faced up-and-comer.
Josh.
Yeah.
Anna says she can't see the call. She's trying to get in. You better let her talk about the trunk.
Okay, let's see what I can do here. I'm going to click this. I'm going to go ahead and say stuff. Randy Orton, the fresh-faced up-and-comer that is assuredly going to win a championship of some kind in the future. I hear his father has been in the industry for a minute. Of course, I'm being very facetious here because, yes, Randy Orton is how I say, a veteran. Yes, Randy Orton is definitely a veteran. He's way past veteran. He's practically one of the damn legends that he's so adamant about taking down. That's how long Randy's been around.
Did we do it? Did we get her connected?
I'm here.
Yay!
So yeah. I guess of course, you came just in time to talk about Drew McIntyre.
Oh shucks!
I literally just started the intro for his match from SummerSlam.
Okay.
I'm going to let you take it away here. And what were your thoughts, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, in a match you'll never see coming?
That was the dumbest tagline ever for a pay-per-view. Sorry.
You'll never see it coming.
I mean, it was Drew. I'm never disappointed, but it seemed, well, he won. I was happy, but there were shortcomings on the match, which makes me sad. No, it seemed like every time they would get a good rhythm going, it would stop. And I don't know if that was planned or if it's just the way it worked out.
I would imagine that everything they did was pretty carefully calculated, considering Randy Orton, as I said before, is not a fresh-faced youngster and has been around forever and a day. And Drew himself is not only a WWE veteran, but, became an indie darling for, work rate and look. And these guys have been around the block a time or two. They know what they're doing. So they were told to tell a story. They think they told that story pretty well in the 20 and a half minutes that they were given to work. I don't disagree with the things you said.
It seemed kind of choppy to me.
A lot of stop and go kind of
Yes.
deal. I don't know if Randy Orton's capable of a non-stop, action-packed match. We've seen Drew do it.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I was
style.
That's why I was surprised. I'm like, what is the stopping for? Why? But maybe it was on account of Randy.
And I feel like I have to justify a lot of the things I say here tonight. That's not a knock on Randy Orton. He has that. His style is really, jump up and grab you.
Yeah.
His nicknames are so apt. The Viper, he gets you with that RKO out of nowhere. He spends a lot of time slithering until he slowly starts, coiling up, and then he strikes.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, if the RKO doesn't hit, it's back up, slither, coil, and then try to strike again. So it seems to me like maybe they were wrestling Randy Orton's match rather than a Drew McIntyre match.
It could be. Just, it wasn't the kind of match I was used to seeing Drew in. So, but it was a good match.
Oh yeah, for sure. Whenever you see a championship going 20 minutes, it better be decent at least.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a bad match by any means. Just not what I'm used to.
Does Amber have any thoughts on Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton? I don't know if she can hear us at the moment. But it wouldn't be the Backstage Slam without technical issues, right?
Right.
I'm glad the match happened. I'm not so thrilled with repeat storyline of Randy Orton, the Legend Killer.
That is kind of annoying.
Especially since, as I mentioned, he's been around, 20 years?
Something like that.
He's basically the legend now.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So instead of the Legend Killer, he's like the what is it? The AARP Hunter. Oh, Randy, pick on somebody your own age, or actually younger, because that's pretty much everybody in the company now.
This is true.
And finally, in a match that went 12 minutes, Braun Strowman defended the WWE Universal Championship in a Falls Count Anywhere match against the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Now, we're not going to talk about how the match ended, the post-match shenanigans just yet. We'll get to that in a minute. But just from bell to bell, what did you think about the match, Anna?
It was all right.
Okay.
I guess I expected more from two guys like that, but...
All right, how about you, Amber? Braun and Bray. Two guys.
Actually, I completely forgot about the match because Drew won, and I'm like, oh crap, there's one more left.
Nothing else matters now that the tree is still champion.
I thought the championship match was last, okay?
It was.
Drew's match.
I fell asleep, so I don't have any input on that one.
All right, then I'll close out the SummerSlam thoughts with this. Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt went out of 12 minutes. I thought, considering who the guys were, it made perfect sense to 12 minutes is not keeping it short per se, but putting Braun in a power position essentially, it played off. It was weird that the Fiend was like the more nimble. He was the agile one and whatnot, when usually he's the powerhouse. So I don't think this came off as a powerhouse versus powerhouse match, as like two giants would come off. But Braun, what was he thinking with a box cutter? That's, I
was really actually scared of that.
I was like, are they really good? What are they doing? Braun, oh, he's just cutting up the mat. Okay, sure.
Yeah, he took a page out of
the Necronomicon?
No, not the Necronomicon. Ciampa's book.
Oh, okay.
Because Ciampa's cut up the ring before.
Yeah.
My twice.
Thought, though, was, just throwing this out there. There's a whole lot of concrete on the outside that's probably a lot harder, and it is falls count anywhere. So first of all, if I were grading this on a letter system, I would instantly drop it a grade for having the match end in the ring. Why do you have a falls count anywhere match if you're going to end the match in the ring?
They could have gone anywhere. I don't know why they didn't.
It didn't make sense to me to have this particular stipulation. The way the match played out, there was no reason for it. On paper, going into it, we talked about during the preview, this could get nuts. They could go anywhere. Things could get weird, and it didn't. Not even a little bit. So it seems like a wasted stipulation for this. Falls count anywhere, so we're going to have it end in the ring. It doesn't even set up a good visual. Unless with a mat caught up, they're like, well, it's kind of a different place. No, you could have just called it a, I don't know,
ABQ?
Amway Anarchy match. Whatever, just falls count anywhere, and no falls counted anywhere except the one in the ring. Which is what happened. The final fall was in the ring. Bray Wyatt pinned Braun Strowman 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, grabbed his title and celebrated, which is when he was attacked by Roman Reigns. The returning Roman Reigns. Oh my God. I don't get me wrong, I'm glad to see him back in a way, because it means maybe he's in a position to where he doesn't have to fear for his health as much.
Right.
Especially after his recent stint battling leukemia once again last year. So I'd say seeing him is a good sign as far as, on a personal level for Roman.
Well, he was back briefly before COVID, wasn't he?
Yeah. In fact, I was listening to this mention. His last appearance was the SmackDown before WrestleMania, because he was supposed to face Goldberg for the championship. Yeah.
And that's when Braun got it, I believe, right?
Yeah. Roman backed out of Mania. Braun was called in on the WWE 24. They talked about that. And Braun in particular mentioned how he drove home, right? they didn't need him for Mania, so we drove home. He gets a call, and they're like, we need you for Mania. And he's like, okay. Because, as he said, when the boss calls, you go. And they sent the jet for him. He got on the jet.
That was nice of them.
Flew to Orlando, won the title. And the rest is what it is. But now Roman's back. And that's going to have some implications going forward. So, just based on what you saw at SummerSlam, Anna, Roman Reigns, heel or babyface?
I think heel.
Because he attacked Bray Wyatt, and then he attacked Braun Strowman, saying, I made you.
Pretty much.
You're not a monster without me. I made you, that kind of thing.
Yeah. He could have come back and been all nice about it and super Roman Reigns-y about it, and yeah, that's not what we got at all.
Not at all, she says.
We got some vicious animal. I like it.
Okay, so before we get into our Payback predictions, let's see. I'm trying to find the clock here. Oh, we're already an hour into the show. Okay. Before we get into the Payback predictions, I do want to go over a couple of things that happened this week on TV. Karrion Kross had to relinquish the NXT Championship that he just won the day before SummerSlam Saturday due to injury.
Oh.
So how crazy is that? He beats Keith Lee to take the NXT Championship, and then immediately just gone.
I didn't think he really got hurt in that match, though.
Whether he did or he didn't, he had to relinquish the title.
See, now, I had a feeling that Keith Lee losing that title was just going to be his springboard onto the main roster, and
it was, because Keith Lee made his Raw debut Monday night and has a match for Payback, which we'll get to in a minute with our predictions. So, Keith Lee, the previous NXT Championship, also the previous North American Champion, the dual title holder, he relinquished the North American title for sportsmanship. He wanted to make sure that it was able to put on the line on the show, and loses the NXT Championship. That was, of course, his ticket to go to Raw. And he did.
I gotta say, that was an amazing introduction to the main roster.
I said it last week. Keith Lee is something special if they just, get behind him. That's all I gotta say. He'll do the work. Just jump on his back and let him take you there.
Yeah, basically.
All he needs you to do is print the T-shirts, and the fans will bring the money. Also, so we can get back to Roman Reigns for. Like I said, I didn't watch Raw or SmackDown, but I do hear things because social media and whatnot. And one of the things that was a running theme throughout SmackDown, from what I understand, was Adam Pearce had to get everybody signed up for the Payback main event. Again, we'll get to that in just a minute. But when he got to Roman Reigns, things got weird.
Huh?
Because Roman Reigns, he's talking to him, and he's like, I'm going to get back the title that I never lost. And what? How did it go? That's not a promise. That's a spoiler. I was like, wait, what? Why would he say that? Usually he's like, that's not his catchphrase. And then the camera pulls back, And sitting next to him is Paul Heyman.
Of course it is.
And Paul Heyman says, "Believe that."
Oh, God.
So it looks like Paul Heyman is now representing Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman is the advocate for Roman Reigns. Things, boys and girls, things just got exciting. Roman Reigns is the bad guy now. Roman Reigns is the guy that everybody's been dying to officially hate forever, and now it's finally here. It's finally happening. We're getting exactly what we always wanted with Roman. Mind you, it might be like 5 years too late, but at least they're giving it a shot now. We're getting Roman Reigns, the heel, the guy that is being represented by Paul Heyman. Oh, you know what? I say it from this point forward. SmackDown is definitely going to be on my watch list for sure, because I'm going to see how this plays out. I hope they don't flip the switch and send him back to being a babyface too soon, because he needs time to be a badass. But
yeah,
God, this has potential, and this is what specifically I know I've said this very same thing that should happen. I've said it on this show numerous times. Ben has said it. This is one of those things that we absolutely agreed on. By the way, again, Ben, wish you here, buddy. I know there's a lot of New Japan stuff going on. Naito, 2 belts, right? Right, man. Oh, but Roman. Just a quick yay or nay. Roman and Paul, is this great? Yay or nay, Anna?
I guess it could be great.
Amber?
No.
Okay. Why are you against my happiness, Amber?
He is going to be the teeter-totter player. He's going to be up and down, up and down, up and down. He is not going to be heel nor babyface. He's just going to be an ass.
You know, I'm good with that. I'm absolutely good with that.
And how do you become an ass? You must have the biggest jackass has your voice.
She has a point.
My name is Paul Heyman, and I represent
A big dog.
Do you think he'll say, and I represent the Roman reigning, defending? Do you think, no? Okay, sorry.
Oh, yes.
I'll never do
Sorry,
that
I'm
again.
pissed at.
I think WWE is going to play it safe with this character turn and not have it be a full heel turn because of how big he is as a babyface.
Yeah,
and how much he is hated as a babyface.
I think he's absolutely replaceable as a babyface. You got Keith Lee, who's going to be the biggest thing in years, and apparently the Fiend is being set up to also be a top babyface.
Huh?
Right.
Hey,
even the kittens, like, what? Money.
Masks sell money. Or sell... You get what I'm trying to say. Merchandise.
Merchandise?
Yeah.
What are you doing, baby?
So there's that. Whew. That was, I think, the biggest stuff that came out during the week. So since we're already over 70 minutes into the show, let's get into our Payback predictions. I do have Ben's predictions right here. By the way, I just want to say, other than the Apollo Crews MVP match that unfortunately did happen, even though I said it wouldn't happen, I got a perfect score other than that on SummerSlam. Go me.
I was
right?
off by a couple.
I was the symbol of blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I have Ben's picks, so as things progress, I will let everybody know what Ben thinks as soon as I find them. Because he sent them to me today, and that is not the thing. Okay, he sent it to the group chat. Okay. Sorry to keep everybody waiting. I just wanted to make sure everything was set up right. First up.
It's okay.
A disappointing SummerSlam for Sasha Banks. She and her still champion partner, Bayley, are defending the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, two women that absolutely despise each other. So, are we going to get new champions that hate each other, which will lead the old champions to hate each other? Or do we get the champions retaining so they at least tolerate each other for a little while longer? And maybe a hint of jealousy because one of them is a singles champion, while Shayna and Nia proceed to just feud and feud and feud. So, who you got, Anna?
I'm going to go with Nia and Shayna. Just because I think it could be interesting to have them absolutely hate each other and be tag team champions. Plus, it'll fuel that jealousy between Sasha and Bayley.
Okay. Who you got, Amber?
I agree. Except now Nia and Shayna can hurt each other instead of other people. And it speeds up the feud so that it will actually matter come Survivor Series.
Well, since there are no points on the line, I can go ahead and really vote my principles. And, of course, one of those principles is I don't bet against Bayley. So I'm going to be picking Sasha and Bayley, and they will still be tag team champions, but Sasha can get jealous over the fact that Bayley is also a singles champion. That is absolutely acceptable. And Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax can have their one-off match against each other, and maybe that turns into a triple threat down the road for Asuka and the Raw Women's Championship. Ben picks with me Bayley and Sasha, considering his recent SummerSlam record. Maybe I'm thinking I might be wrong on this. So you know what? I'm just going to go with it anyway, because I don't pick against Bayley. I don't pick against Bayley.
Of course you don't.
Anywho, up next, Apollo Crews is defending the United States Championship against Bobby Lashley with MVP and Shelton Benjamin, the gold standard. Remember when he had that nickname? In his corner, MVP and Shelton Benjamin in his corner. And we're going to go in the other direction here. Amber, Apollo Crews, Bobby Lashley, singles match for the U.S. Championship. Who you got?
Bobby Lashley was a steal.
Okay, Anna.
I have to agree with Amber.
You know what? Ben and I are going to make it unanimous. Bobby Lashley takes the U.S. Championship from Apollo Crews, and maybe Apollo Crews gets beaten so badly he's like, I want to join your troop. Next up, in a match that is definitely not going to be third on the card, but this is the order that I was given to read. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, is defending the Universal Championship in a triple threat no-holds-barred match against Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman and Braun Strowman. Here's the thing about a no-holds-barred match. Technically, the name no-holds-barred means you're allowed to use any hold you want. Somewhere along the lines that turned into some sort of like no DQ alternative. So there's no disqualification matches, there's street fights, there's hardcore matches, there's Extreme Rules matches. Basically, all of these mean there is no rules. So I hate the fact that there are so many names for the same damn match. The only difference being how many weapons are available at the beginning.
This is true.
So, when it comes to The Fiend, Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman, who you got, Anna?
You said Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman?
And Bray Wyatt, triple threat. No rules.
Oh. See, the card's completely new to me. So,
It's completely new to them, too.
Well, no, I wasn't aware of it.
Fiend with an assist by Sister Alexa Bliss.
I don't want to see that happen. I totally ship Alexa and Braun, so I can't say I'd be happy with that.
But who do you have?
Braun.
Okay.
It's probably gonna be Roman because he just came back and all, and he's a badass and whatever. But I gotta go with Braun.
You gotta pick the guy that couldn't beat one of the guys in the match and lost last week.
They're messing with. This is like that, making you pick between Bailey and you know what I mean.
Nikki Cross. Yeah, I get it. It's a real Sophie's choice. Yeah. So, Amber, you have The Fiend with an assist from Sister Alexa Gale. Anna, you have Braun Strowman. Ben completes the trifecta with a pick for Roman Reigns. And, okay, Ben, I know what you're going to think. And no, it's not the case. Why I made my pick. I am picking Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, to retain. For several reasons. One, why are you going to put the title on the guy for a week? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, would it be cool, I guess, for Roman to come back, win the title immediately? As long as him losing the matches through no fault of his own, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine either way. He's Roman Reigns. That's one of the reasons why. Reason number 2, I picked Bray. I don't pick Roman. Never. I did it once, but I needed the point. So yeah, I'm picking Bray to retain. And since this is a match with no rules, there's only one way to do that, and that is to win. So, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt to retain in my eyes. Next up, we have the new big thing versus the old big thing. Keith Lee versus Randy Orton in a singles match. Talk about a way to get your main roster career started, going straight to the 3/4 of the way to the top. I mean, don't get me wrong, Randy Orton is, a 14-time world champion? But he hasn't really been in danger of winning again in quite a while, in my humbled opinion. Although, there was conversation that there was a chance he was going to beat Drew McIntyre and take the titles at SummerSlam, which obviously didn't happen. So, there's that. But I'm going to go ahead and start this one off and say Keith Lee gets the ball rolling on his merchandising extravaganza by beating Randall Keith Orton. Chances are there's going to be a screwy non-finish. But last time I tried to do something like that, guess who got pooched in the end and got the only one wrong by not picking a winner? And that's right. So I'm definitely picking a winner, and I'm going to pick Keith Lee. Amber, Keith Lee versus Randall Keith Orton.
With the assist from Flair via punch to the balls.
Okay, so Randy Orton wins after ball fondling. Gotcha.
No, he's not going to win.
Oh,
he's going to lose because he's going to get punched in the balls.
So Keith Lee wins due to...
he's going to have the referee distracted. Flair's going to karate chop his left nut. And then he's going to fall down, and Keith's going to sit on him for 3.
Okay, well, will Randy Orton cry?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was say, wouldn't you cry if Ric Flair karate chopped you in the nuts, Josh?
I don't know.
Or in the
There's
left
times
nut?
you kind of get used to it.
Good point.
That was a showstopper. And
no, I said good point. I'm gonna go with Keith Lee, but there could be distracted referee interference by a number of people. I would like to see Shawn Michaels come out and, slide in, sweet chin music, slide out, refs unaware.
Yeah, a whole lot of doors open for shenanigans. Randy's pissed off a lot of people recently, so
yes, he has.
Any number of people that'll come in and help old Keith pick up the victory. Although I would rather them come after the Keith Lee victory to make sure Keith gets his first win legitimately on the main roster like that and pay-per-view wise. Next up,
I definitely think it's going to be Keith Lee with or without interference, because it wouldn't make sense for him to make his debut by interrupting Orton just to have him lose.
He's also an NXT call-up, so that's kind of the MO. Oh, you got called up? You're losing. After all.
But it's Keith Lee.
Asuka, again, had a streak longer than Goldberg's, and they're like, Asuka, you're losing. You're going to lose to Charlotte. So next up, the Mysterios versus Rollins and Murphy in a tag team match. As we saw, Seth Rollins defeated Dominic at SummerSlam, but the quest for vengeance has not stopped. You might even say that Rey Mysterio and Dominic are looking for a little vengeance.
A little payback?
Anna.
Yes.
Go to your room.
I'm going to go with... What? What?
That was awful.
Wasn't it, though? You left the door open, and I just walked right on through it, Josh.
Yeah, I kind of did that. But a match that, hey, what match has 8 arms, 8 legs, 7 eyes?
Jesus, Josh.
Admittedly, my joke is much worse. So,
That's dad joke territory, Josh.
hey, I got 3 kids, so it's going to be 3 times as bad.
Good point. Good point.
I've earned my awful jokes, thank you. So, and I feel proud of it. And who's going to win? Team 4 Eyes or Team 3 Eyes? Oh, did I do it again?
You did.
Anna, who you got?
I'm going to go with Mysterio and Son.
Okay. Amber, who you got?
I agree.
Yeah, this might be the finale, the final showdown between the Mysterios and whatever the heck Seth Rollins is calling his partnership with Buddy Murphy. I got no idea. So I'm going to go with the Mysterios as well. Oh, in case I didn't mention it, Ben also picked Keith Lee in the last match, and he's also picking the Mysterios. So it's pretty unanimous, and there's a chance we're all going to be wrong.
Yes, there is. A big one.
Next up, Matt Riddle, the original bro, versus King Corbin, the original idiot. And I say that strictly from a character standpoint. You know, he's a dickweed, character.
He really is. It's like once he went corporate, he became ugh. And it hasn't stopped.
So I take it you have Matt Riddle beating King Corbin?
Absolutely.
Amber, Matt Riddle, bro, or King Corbin? Don't.
I don't like either of them, but I'll go with Riddle.
I didn't want to like Matt Riddle, but he kind of grew on me.
See, Matt Riddle's he's a pretty talented guy.
He is, and the fact that he wrestles barefoot astounds me.
Yeah. So I'm also going to pick Jeff Spicoli. And finally, on this, I mean, this would be crazy if this was the main event, but finally on this match, Ben also picks Matt Riddle. Finally, we have Big E representing the New Day, of which I'm the, of course, unofficial 4th member. And he's taking on Sheamus. Sheamus, a guy. There's a guy that hasn't been seen on my screen in a while, and for all I know, he's been working very well, putting on 5-star matches every week on SmackDown or Raw, whatever show he's on. And I wouldn't know because I haven't been watching because the product has not been great. But I will say this, like I said, Roman Reigns, of all people, is going to be coming back to watch. Never thought I'd see the day that Roman Reigns would draw me in. But here we are. And who knows, maybe I'll finally be able to get rid of that stigma of picking him on my principles, not picking him on my principles. Maybe that day will come. And maybe the New Day will come to aid Big E as he takes on Sheamus in a singles match. But we'll find out. All I want to know is, Anna, who you got?
Big E. And is the other guy still out injured?
Xavier?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Oh, well, crap.
Amber, Big E versus Sheamus.
Biggie.
Ben also picks Big E. And I'm going to make it unanimous because, again, those principles tell me that I cannot pick against the New Day. So, unanimously, we all pick Big E. All right.
Super random question, real quick.
Okay.
What's the E in Big E stand for?
Enormous.
Like, is it his first initial? Like, I don't know.
Just giggled.
His initials, his actual initials are EE because well, those are his actual initials. So I imagine he's Big E. You get what I'm saying?
Wait, what are his initials?
His actual real life initials are EE.
Oh, okay.
You spell his first name Ettore, and his last name is Ewen. Ettore Ewen.
Oh,
Something like that. By the way,
alrighty.
he's 4 years younger than me. I don't know how to feel about that.
So, how old is he?
Oh, he's 34.
Oh my God, I'm older than Biggie.
Yes. And that's the state of the business we're in today because now pretty much everybody on the roster is younger than me, and I don't know how to take that.
I think most of them are younger than me too, Josh.
Well, yeah. If they're older, if they're younger than me, then they're definitely younger than you too.
Oh, okay. Gonna play that card, huh?
Which card's that?
If they're younger than you, they have to be younger than me card?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I actually think he's younger than me too.
I mean, you're not younger than me.
How old are you, Josh?
58.
Bullcrap.
No, I'm 38.
I just turned 36 in March.
Oh, I thought we were born in the same year.
Close. You're younger than my boyfriend, though.
And he's 58.
No, he's... Why do people keep thinking that? No, he's not, actually.
Okay. You know what? We did an hour and a half show tonight, and I think it's about time to hang things up.
That's my bad. Sorry.
Before we get out of here, I want to, you know what, Anna, tell people where people can find you on social media.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all Catwoman13618.
Amber, how can people send you whatever they want to send you?
Send it to Josh.
Okay.
He'll give it to me.
I certainly will. And if you want to send me messages for Amber, by all means, hit me up at Skid Comic on Twitter or at Symbicore Studios on Twitter. Go to the Facebook page for Symbicore Studios. That's facebook.com/Symbicore Studios. You know what? I have pretty nifty graphics here. So, SymbicoreStudios.com, that's where you find out everything about Symbicore Studios, other than, like, what it is. But, you know, I do have links to all the shows and stuff, all the social media. So go there, and you'll be taken to this link. Oh, there it is. My Twitter feed is one of the things you can find there, as you can see if you're watching on Facebook Live. And there's
love you guys. Tell
Facebook.
Scott we love him too.
I will.
So, ladies, before we go, any final thoughts, any final words you want to give to everybody out there?
Don't think so. Not wrestling related, anyway.
Okay, then, where did I put that blasted? There it is. And I guess there's only one thing left to do as he looks for that other thing he needs to wrap things up. See, I gotta put these things close together. Ending the show's a lot. Anyway, only one thing left to do.
And what's that, Josh?
Say...
Smelly feet.